Hello there everyone, this is Mark 3 and welcome back to Captain of Industry, where the trees they fall. Oh yes, they fall. Well, they do fall quite a lot. Yes, that is got to be said. Hang on a sec. Okay, I was just double checking something quickly on my laptop. So, welcome back, welcome back. Things are progressing quite nicely on the island. Excuse me, yeah, it's just started and it's like, hang on, you have to clear your throat, so slow down a second. Yeah, very organised, yes. Very, very organised. Anyway, something mildly important I figured out after last time, which I didn't read anywhere, so I probably skimmed over the thing in question that told me. And that is, for fertiliser to be used on farms, you actually have to set a target fertilisation level, and then it'll try to use fertiliser to get up to that, so... The entire time prior, I was running on just natural state without realising that, hey, this is a green thing. You can move the green thing. So we're just going to do that. And the difference is about a 50% or so increase in output compared to everything else. So, important to note. I wondered why my first star level was just going up and up and up. It's because I wasn't using it in the first place. C'est la vie. Other thing worth noting is I have been stockpiling a bit since last time. So these guys have been running on overtime to the point where I was building up a large storage of them. So that's going down now, as you can see. And that's because I also began the process of just converting these up into tier 4 construction parts because we got the science we were after. Yes, the science. Power generation, level 4. High pressure turbine, low pressure turbines, power generators, all the top tier stuff there. Though, quick nod to Happy Aether, nuclear power is coming up next in terms of power generation, but if I wait for the tier 4 stuff, I'm never going to get anything built. That's the problem, isn't it? If I wait for all the shiny stuff, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. But anyway, let's go ahead and... I think I just deleted more than I meant to. I want to delete... Not that. There we go. Okay, so Matthew, why are you mucking around in your science setup? That's because I want to get the next tier of science rolling, which is... There it is. Tier 3 science. Well, it's just tier 3 science, tier 3 lab equipment. Seeing as that is also the last thing we need. We're basically done with the stuff that requires the tier 2 science. We just have to get this one plugged in and start going with it. There we go. I also probably have to clear these belts, won't I? Yeah, because I just don't need that anymore as far as I know. But if we go to the tier 4 science, we get all sorts of fun little things. We could grab this with just research 3 or better solar panels, but we can get better conveyor belts, we get more chemical plants, bigger storage, which leads on to the next size up for cargo depots. You know, we want that one for our things. There's also, of course, the waste water treatment and vacuum desalination. I didn't know that one was in here, actually. That's a new one. Seawater plus depleted steam into water plus brine. Interesting. Interesting. But, yeah. The things I want, though, are wastewater treatment. There's also gold smelting as well. I've not done that yet. But I do want to go up to the cargo depots. Just so that I can start using that for building the big stuff. So I guess I'll do that for now. And I'll spend, with some regret, 180 of my purple parts to get these labs upgraded. And I'll just clean out the stuff on these belts. There we go. Right, sorted. Right, yes. Okay, done so. So, moving on. as I get distracted once again. There we go. Yeah. Other things to report. This plant is basically entering shutdown stage now. It's I've paused all intake for it, and that's because over here I wondered why it wasn't working properly, and it turned out I was missing a single tiny piece of pipe in this tangle over here to enable the cracking unit to be running. So the cracker wasn't functioning, so it was gumming up the sour water, and basically all of it wasn't working properly. The only sour water being processed was to pull ammonia off it for fertilizer production as it happened, but yeah, that was the thing. So now that's working properly, we don't actually need this at all anymore. So yeah, that's actually working now. So we can say goodbye to basically this entire thing. What do you even do? You do... I think you assigned to that with the intention of keeping you originally, but now you are actually due for dismantling. So there we go. This plant has served us long, it has served us well, but now it is time for it to go. Aha. Okay, moving on though. We do actually have some comments, which is why I was hesitating a bit, because we got comments from last time. And I was trying to make sure I got them all up on my laptop next to me, which is how I actually try to read that stuff. So, there we go. Comment from Medic Man. Yay, a follow captive infantry player. Hang on, is this the right one? Give me a second. Okay, I got it back. Right. I was on the wrong one. So, yes. Still, we need more captive infantry players. Recruit everyone you know, draft them in. That's the thing, yes. But, yes, okay. Going back to the reason I was actually on that video for the comment is comment from Hans Damfer. Remember, Hans Damfer was the one that said, I chose the path of pain. I agreed. But he went on with a comment I do wish to share, which is, first of all, you play like you want to play. It was not meant as a criticism, just saw myself in the first run, with a smiley face. Yeah, this is my first run, so I think that's probably part of why there's a similarity, and it wasn't a criticism, I found it quite funny, actually. Anyway, he continues. I've started the crater map recently, and I'm at 5,000 people. The wastewater is managed by 2 facilities. I have a setup of 4 patrolling boilers, 4 boiler, 1, 2 and 3s, and about 130 vehicles, got plenty of diesel. And I also use the biggest cargo ports to put the oil I get from one tour last months before the ship is empty. This game is pretty unforgiving, but also very rewarding when you find your drive. The only tip I'll give you is, set up proper production for building material, and most important, a very proper setup for maintenance, and don't build too much unneeded buildings, since they cost you a lot of maintenance. This can ruin you very quickly if not prepared for bottleneck situations, and very frustrating. The rest will come to you by trial and error. Have fun. P.S. Everyone chooses the path of pain from time to time. That is totally okay. Maybe I should just do a full series on captive infantry, call it Path of Pain, and then try to do everything as inefficiently and convolutedly as possible. Oh, that's unfortunate. Maintenance 2. The pain intensifies. I'm not ready for that. I didn't stop to realise that these labs need maintenance too. Oh dear, hang on a sec. This does pain me, just so you know. It kind of hurts, but I've slapped in a maintenance depot over here, fairly private, make sure it gets serviced. And it's in my temporary electronics line because maintenance 2 requires electronics, the precious electronics that I'm using for all of my other stuff. Well, no, I'm just currently stockpiling, I will be using very shortly. So, welcome to my level 2 maintenance production supply line. Isn't it beautiful? This is called no frills maintenance, and it definitely won't go wrong at all. Absolutely not. So you guys are... Yeah, you guys are still making level 1, that's fine. Okay, right. Anyway... Moving back on, Hansdampf actually commented on the previous part as well, so let's continue with that. Yes, I know research is currently too advanced. That's because our power's out. Actually, that's the main thing for this episode. Anyway, moving on. Hansdampf. It's never simple because this is a darn complicated game. I rage quit my first one, deinstalled it somewhere in my second one, and now I'm on Crater, and I'd like to think I got it now. I can appreciate that. I'll be honest, I've never really rage quit much of anything, mainly because I don't have the temperament for it. Though I have kind of lost interest a few times on things, I also admit to that one. Not rage quit though, not angry. And sometimes if I'm enjoying something, I just get really darn stubborn. Wait, they've got power even though they're boosted? Doesn't that... Also ignores electricity requirements, so okay, so they're fine without power, but my power grid is overloaded. I should probably deal with that. So, all this lovely stuff over here, right? Looks good, right? No, go away. Right, okay. So, while I haven't laid anything down, I have crunched numbers in the background between episodes. So, I need 4 lines of this, because each line is still limited to the whole 72 megawatts thing. But in terms of difference, high pressure 1s versus 2s, same as low pressures, the difference is that the level 2 ones, they're slightly bigger. Though it doesn't look like the footprint's changed at all, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, that's a big beefy boy. About the same. Okay. So these guys are at twice the throughput of the level 1 version, but the same cost in manpower, so these are just more efficient manpower-wise. The generator is more efficient in terms of getting power generation through. And of course, that's what I mentioned at spotting in the last time, which is the water cooling tower. Instead of a 50% return, it's a 75% return, which will let us run 4 lines versus 2. But it works out like this. To get 1 line, we have 2 towers to cool down all the steam going through. And we have 4 each in sets of high and low pressure turbines. And then it also turns out, off that, we can run 4 large generators. So that's our total industry there for 1 line. One thing I did notice, which I'm not going to do in this case because it's a net loss, and that is if we go up here, we've got electric boilers. Spend 8 megawatts and we get 24 water into 24 steam, which is a net production because it's half the throughput of a normal boiler. So that is 16 megawatts to get 48 steam. But the problem with that is I calculated that versus what I can get taking that 48 steam through the high and low pressure stuff. And it only gets you 15 megawatts back, even using the efficiency of the large generator. So that's 1 megawatt lost if I run this thing on electric. So I've got to run this on something else. But that said, we also need to get the boilers. These are straight 48, so that is a sum total of 4 boilers. And I think right now I'm going to run it on solids. Though with gas, if I can, I'll switch it over to fuel gas or hydrogen, most likely fuel gas, because the oil system over there is due an expansion. So I'll probably switch it to a fuel gas loadout for CO2 production. But right now that is going to produce a whole bunch of exhaust. 72 times... Yeah. Wait. I'm looking at it because I'm planning to run biomass, I said. Right? Yeah, 72... I'm doing it oddly because the 3 button on my laptop doesn't work. 144, right. So to deal with the 144, if I'm going to run it like this, 1 exhaust scrubber is enough for 1 of those. Though that said, the exhaust scrubber actually has a water intake cost as well, which is not factored for. And if I was to run that 30, and the average, that's actually basically a rainwater harvester, isn't it? 3.5 per 6, 24 per 6, no. I'd have to plug that into another water line to keep the scrubbers running. Shameful. But yes, I'll go ahead and get this sorted out, and because we have been suffering numerous brownouts, as someone said, why did I say brownouts? Brownouts, and we're in the middle of one right now, we're going to get that going. There's also the fact that these guys might require, yep, there it is, maintenance 2. For some reason the generators only need maintenance 1. I'm not going to look at gift horse in the mouse. But yeah, maintenance 2 for the power system at least. But yeah, let's get that sorted and get something rolling. We're looking at biomass as a potential thing we can do. And I did always plan to tap biomass off my settlement over here, so I'm just doing that. I'm hooking up to a really big storage, so we can get that sorted out ASAP. And my original plan was to take biomass and convert it into compost. Thing is, I've got no idea what my production rate is. And I also calculated for a maximum level belt, just the one, it would be like 19 of level 2 mixers to convert all that biomass into compost, because the throughput's not that great. So I would rather just burn it if that becomes an option. So as I said, I have no idea how quickly it gets produced. Not that fast, it looks like, actually, all considered. It also means we're getting less waste, but to be entirely honest, Project One with Nature Stage 2 is well underway at this point. And I've also leveled the hill around here as well. That's another progress report for you. That's been dug out. So the diggers that were doing that are now working around the lip of my iron quarry in this gap just here. This mountain is all but gone. In fact, it is gone because that was level to the terrain around it in the first place. Yeah, okay. But the earth is slowly giving us her bounty. One metal bucket at a time. I do like games that let you do terraforming. Even if it's just digging holes in the ground. The most simple form of terraforming we ever undertake. Every child does it. There we go, here we go, here we go. I have done it. I proudly say I have done it as I spot problems with it. I may have forgotten the water feed. Vaguely important, that. Easy enough to fix, though. Just need a few clicks here and there. But yes, I have done it. The last word in power supply. Once this setup is up and running, we will never have any problems at all with power forever and ever. Amen. Okay, nothing caught fire, nothing exploded. I think I'm okay. I haven't jinxed this at all. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, anyway. Yep, that'll be fine for that. Okay. So, what have I got here? I have got water income from 2 pairs of ground pumps. As you know, I was calculating it based on all that to start out. Trying to make sure I don't accidentally get things in the wrong place. Yeah, that's running along like that, yeah. So, I've got that. I've also got a complex feeder mechanism here. Well, actually, I say complex, there's nothing complex about it. It's going in priority of food or materials. Well, food. I don't know why I said food, I was meaning fuel. Priority of fuel order, in theory anyway. So, first one is coal, which we will override if it has access to wood chips. which we will override if it has access to animal feed, which it will override if it has access to biomass. Biomass production I am very disappointed by, to be honest. So, well, it's not really been running, but that's enough to fire a boiler once, and that's it. So that's going to be a problem. Animal feed, we are building some up, but other boilers are using that as well, so that's being drained. We are producing some wood chips over here, but we're getting through far more than we make, to be honest. And we are getting through more lumber than we make as well, so I can't rely on wood chips as a substitute for it. So the backup source, coal, is going to be the main one, I feel like, which is also the most polluting. So, right. Permanent setup. Water feed. Temporary setup. Solid fuel feeding loot. Probably going to be replaced by fuel gases when I get that up to speed. Boiler setup will be torn out eventually, so it's temporary, so maybe in a century or two, but that'll be... Fuel gas is my target because ethanol is a pain to make in bulk. I mean, I've got a little one over here, but look at this, 4.5, and I would need, what was it, 72 I think, to run a gas boiler on that. No, 54, still a lot. I'd need many of these to even do that. And this one is running off corn to corn mash, which is the only route we've got from products. So I'd have to grow a lot of corn. We have a lot of excess corn, but yeah, can't use that. Not really. I don't know how I'd make that much ethanol. Stumble, rush. Yes, as usual, this has turned into a long build project. Anyway, to make sure that I can cope with exhaust output from coal, there's actually 5 exhaust scrubbers in here. Again, temporary. When we switch over to fuel gas, this won't be needed anymore, so this entire section will be torn out. But this setup is rigged with a 1 large, 1 small cooling tower. The small is a backup cooling tower because it prioritizes the large one, which is a better return ratio. And then for its water drip feed, it is going to be plumbed into the farm area. Though if I build all of it, it'll require more than this desalinator will produce. But for that to work, we have to, of course, deal with the rolling blackout situation. Just unpausing. So yes, things are starting to get going. Unpause all of you. Sure, I'll unpause those. I'll pause again those feed lines that aren't needed. Not yet. Because I'm only going to give the go-ahead to 1 bank of these guys. There we go. Right, so steam. Wonderful steam gets pumped along here, which of course also requires approving. And we have got the total throughput of 1 row of these is 2 large towers, which then of course feed back straight through into the main section, just like that. Just there, just to make sure. And then we're going to approve this entire bank here for assembly. And that is the end of all our power problems as soon as all this gets built, which I think we have most of the parts we need for it, as is. I have to be aware though, I am actually out of level 1 materials again, so who knows. But yeah, that's my power, that's my power. Such as it is. Now I just need to get all this stuff built. Don't need you. Do I need you? No. Selective building is also a pain. I have chosen the path of pain, very much so. I suppose it's a bit of an odd question, this. Trying to fire you because you are an urgent one. But how do you guys deal with slag? That was not the question I wanted to ask at all. How do you guys deal with sulfur? There we go. So part of the reason I was having rolling blackouts and things is once again I was backed up on sulfur because ironically we weren't making enough ammonia because we fixed the diesel cracker over at the refinery. So without enough ammonia, we weren't making fertilizer, which wasn't using sulfur, so we had no real sulfur outlet, so it just jammed up. So as a fast fix, I've thrown down some mixers, boosted so they can run without power, and now that is actually providing an outlet to my sulfur on a high delivery priority to just get rid of it. And the idea is if I'm having trouble with sulfur, I pause these, and then when I've got way too much again, I just cycle them back up, and it's will hopefully sort things out. But now I've got a bunch of trucks saying they can't reach destinations, and that is... Why are you trying to get there? Ah, I didn't unpause all the relevant conveyors apparently. There we go. I should have also copied the settings to turn off everything, shouldn't I? Oh well. It's moving at least. What the heck are you doing there? You're delivering water to... Oh, these guys here. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind this place exporting water. I'll leave that be. Now, actually, I do mind when it's all working properly, but not right now. Okay, let's double check this thing. So, fuel is being delivered. Slowly but steadily. Those are firing to get steam, which should be flowing down this pipe here. In an ideal world. Of course. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. I didn't make a mistake at all. Not at all. Okay, right. There we go. Only a little pipe there because that's all it needs. Since I kept it local so I wouldn't have to shunt massive amounts of low pressure steam around. And then that's feeding back. Okay, good. Wait, it's not flowing back? Why are you not... Oh. Why are you a separate piece? That's just weird, that. There we go. And of course we need this other pipe here next to it as well, don't we? Okay, those two are flowing. Right, both working. They're producing back water, which will be coming back through this pipe over here, which then feeds into this one. I put tanks to balance out flow on either side of this, but of course it's all going into this priority, which will prioritize stuff coming in from the cooling towers over fresh water coming in from the other side. And that is now on the move, with the question being, am I giving these guys enough water? I should be, yes. Yeah. 200. That pipe can handle it. My question is, what are you burning though? As I had to plan for, it's coal, which 180, 240. I need the backup one, operational 2, which is this guy. There we go. Right. Fun fact, by the way, 4 into 5. So I did a really janky way of sorting it out, which is I've got this set of bleeds set here, this pipe here, which will give a split before it hits the balancer, and as a result it will just like send it here, there and everywhere. But that'll be enough to handle the exhaust pressure from a set of 4 there. And of course it'll produce sulfur. Blooming sulfur. Maybe I should have put a storage on the end of this as well. I don't think that's much of an issue, really. The pipes will act as buffer enough, I suppose. I mean, this pipe holds enough to refill one of them, so no problem. And look at that, we suddenly have power. We haven't even got all the generators up yet, but it's still generating power. Ah, thing of beauty. Ooh, I do like the look of those. I don't know, just something about how something big and spinny looks to me. Though I do kind of odd that that's going the opposite directions to that. At least I think it is. Yes, it is. Hopefully that won't irritate me, but now I've noticed it, so maybe it will. But power is now stabilized. Oh, well. Oh, wow, that requires a vast amount of electronics. I am not geared up for that kind of electronics. Ooh. Also, not enough housing either. I guess the last thing we can do today is... yeah, I can afford that. Get my first tier 3 housing. Just see how it looks. Just the question why you guys aren't working. Oh, not enough input. You are... remove your boost. I'm only making enough for, I think, 1.5 of you with only one of those running. But we've also got this thing maintaining electronics, which is draining things just a tad. I'll increase the stockpile there. But hey, we've done stuff. We've got more things. Actually, before I forget again, there's something that's been on the to-do list for quite a while, actually, if I have a look real quick to find it. And that is, I can't research and produce these guys here unless we do the donation. So let's actually get that out of the way. I mean, I gathered the materials and then I forgot about it. It's not like we're short on materials now to do that. Don't think I mentioned is in this food area I actually finished this part a bit more, as in it now has the overflows set so that it can actually divert excess material. So if these silos actually fill up completely, as it's doing here, it's splitting off the corn and it'll send any of that through to a mixer which turns it straight up into animal feed. So that is something that's going on right there. Just thought I'd mention it because it's a little quality of life feature that I just bolted in, and it's working okay. I'm actually getting a bit of excess of wheat supply, at least for now. Soya's not keeping up at all, though. Come on, you boat. Come on, you boat. I need the chickens. I need the chicks. Give me the chicks. There we go. Okay, my first time upgrading a settlement. Boosted level 2. Not enough space in animal farm or no animal farm built. Wait. Am I not meant to actually get the chickens and then research the thing? Did I? What? I've got greenhouses. There's a chicken farm. Which just says it raised chickens with no information about that. Do I just not know? What does it need? Water plus animal feed. I guess I'll give that a priority on the animal feed, and then I don't know. What does it make? Chicken and eggs. Makes sense so far. Good. Let me just bolt this stuff in so we can say we're doing the thing, at the very least. guess one last thing we can do is we can move this last water tower. We don't need that. And that was just dumping the wastewater as well, so get rid of that too. There we go. Now of course we don't need this extra water tank there, so I'm not sure where the water will go from that, but it will get removed at some point. I'll just put that as a priority 5, which seems to be what I'm going to now to, you know, remove material as a higher priority than standard. Right, so we can do that. We can trade for 30 chicks. We have ourselves a chicks. We got ourselves some. Ooh, actually, those look quite nice. More modern style buildings, which like to mix and match between things to make a more interesting looking building. I've noticed, which is actually I approve of that. Very well done. I find this quite interesting, the shapes they've managed to build out of these things. Very nice. Oh, that's something we didn't do. Get a hospital, because we do periodically get diseases rolling through, which knock us down. Oh, look at that. My health problems are going away. I am so glad. The pain of actually properly sorting out my waste products is actually doing okay. Also, fun fact, I built another 2 rows of this while I was trying to get things sorted out, so we might be having a few issues here. 36. Yeah, I need another one of these up as well. Okay. If you're up, 18... That's still less than that requires. Okay. And that goes on a 2-to-1, so yep, that's still all okay, that's all still balanced. But having just the extra row of those working has helped get my diesel back up, because some of my trucks were struggling to get fueled. Not anymore. And this area is already green as grass. Shocker, I know. Okay, let's have a quick look at this before we end. Right, we have got ourselves chicks. Little chicks. Growing steadily. Stops naturally increasing the number of animals. Enables slaughter. Enables the red slider. Total number reaches above the red slider. Excess number gets slaughtered into products like meat. Okay, so the question is, what kind of population can we actually sustain? Because remember, we're using animal feed for that, and that is also being used as a boiler fuel as well. Ooh, that's biomass going through there. To slowly build up to the point where it can actually be combusted. Alright. Also the question of how we're going to ratchet it in. I think this might be something we need to fix at some point. Because, yeah, look, we're going to be getting eggs, which helps with protein, and... oh. Can't see a chicken there. Hang on, let's find that. Chicken carcasses. Food processor produces meat and meat trimmings. Or I can just turn it straight into meat trimmings. Again, not there. I do not know where to send that, actually. Actually, I can probably just look at meat, can't I? Meat. Meat plus bread plus snack into a food pack. Okay. Well, meat trimmings can be composted down. Or it can be turned into sausages. Ah, they're sausages under protein. I don't know what a food pack is for. That I really don't know. Food pack. Just bread, snacks, and either meat or eggs. So if I want to use it locally, it'll be processed all down into meat trimmings and then go from there. Oh well. Anyway, yes. Enough looking at the things in mild confusion, having found more systems I wasn't aware of. It's time to end that. Level 2 maintenance is good. Level 1 is actually dipping right now. I don't know why. But I feel like my next project, which I'll enable because we've already planned it and you saw it last time, is get this section up. Just because I need reliable level 1 maintenance. So I'll just let that get built and you'll see it in all its glory next time. But yeah, let's end there. So I already know what this episode is going to be called. Power Overwhelming, because we have power. We have mucho power. In fact, we can probably tear down. We can generate up to 60 megawatts with what we've got there. So we can probably tear down the rest of our power plants flat out. But yeah, this has been Dynamite 3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys have been enjoying the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I should probably unpause these. Helps out me, helps out the channel. Gives me those virtual headpats I also crave. And I'll catch you all some other time. One thing I've been thinking of is like maybe I should just like build localized factories rather than interwoven gunk like this. It's just like a little local area. But then I'd want to pave them all, and it's like the game doesn't really let you pave, does it? Sorry, yes. See you all later.